Okay. So the AI shift, people are now using websites in a different way. It's always been, or I suppose it's no longer just Google, visit website, browse. I mean, that was generally it. You'd go on Google, type in what you're looking for, go through websites, you'd go onto the website, bounce off, go onto the website, bounce off, go into the website, oops, found what you're looking for, have a look, and there you've got your answer. So now it's changing. So what ChatGPT or the AI is doing now is basically saying, okay, you've gone into ChatGPT, you've searched for something, you now have the answer already there. So if you think about that blue shaded area at the top of Google, you may have asked a certain question and that blue shaded area has given you the answer. And it might be enough to, well, it might be enough of an answer that you don't need to go any further. You've got your information without going to the website. So now what we're saying is that maybe you go to the website and maybe, and then you would probably browse. So you can see now how it's changed in the same way you're looking for some sort of answer. So you're looking for ChatGPT AI, and then you might just want to know some information, maybe a summary. And that's where we're looking at that generative engine optimization. But we're going to touch on both those shortly. So you can see there what we're trying to say is, or what I'm trying to say is that there's definitely a shift in the way things are being done. And that the most important, as we always know, the most important person in the whole of this is the customer. And there is a change in the way the customer is doing things. So, first of all, AEO, what is it? So, AEO stands for Answer Engine Optimization. And the aim is to be the answer. So, as I mentioned there, that blue area at the top of Google, when you Google something these days, and depending on what you've asked, at the top of the Google, in the blue shaded area, it will give you an answer. And basically, the aim is that you provide clear, concise, structured content. So Google can say, okay, that's the information that we're looking for. It looks legitimate. It is quoted elsewhere, and someone with expert knowledge has said it. So okay, let's use that. So that is a specific question. The user may not need to click, as in the example I gave. Sometimes you'll just go to Google, excuse me, you'll Google something and you'll think, okay, that's the answer I was looking for, done. So you may not need to click onto the website, but it's going to work really well for you if you're the company or you're the organization or the person that provides the answer. So that's what we call AEO. The next thing, GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. And here, the aim is to be part of the conversation. And what we're talking about as being part of the conversation, it means that usually when you ask ChatGPT for something, you'll say, oh, can you give me some information about barbecues and which one's the best to buy or what purpose? You're not really looking for a specific answer. You're going to get more of a longer answer, aren't you? So this is like almost like a summary. So the aim now is to be part of the conversation. So what you want ChatGPT to quote your not to quote you, well, maybe to quote your website or to mention your website or to at least acknowledge it as one of the sources that has been used to get this information. To appear on generative engine optimization, you need to be referenced or referred to. So what we're saying is that who's referencing you, who's referred to. So if you've got, once again, using an SEO phrase like backlinks, it's not a case of, oh yeah, it's got 500 backlinks done. It's saying, okay, who's given the backlinks, and are people actually using them? Are people going on these backlinks, clicking through to your website and getting this information? So you can see the GEO and AI wants to know that not only that have you got the backlinks and the people referencing it, are you referred to? Are people actually using it? And next, requires you to be seen as an expert or an authority on the subject. So if I want to get some information, you need to have some expert knowledge. You need to be seen as the expert. So, for example, if I'm looking at a medical condition online and I want to know the symptoms for it, and there's something from the NHS, I know the NHS is a well, it's It's a well-regarded healthcare system here in the UK, and I know that the information they're going to provide is definitely going to be right. They're not going to put some false information or information that's not quite correct. So, what GEO wants to know is that you're an expert on the subject or an authority on the subject. Once again, this is helped by the referencing and being referred to. Once again, touching on what we've just mentioned, where are you referenced? Is it other sites, directories, platforms? Where are people mentioning you? Is it just on some backlink somewhere? Has someone also mentioned it on social media? Has some other website mentioned it? Are you on a directory? So you can see here it's doing a lot more search. It's doing a lot more information. It's kind of definitely making sure that you know what you're talking about. How? But it's checking where else you've been mentioned. Keep the content simple and make it easy to interpret. So what we're saying is don't overcomplicate it. I suppose what people have done in the past, they've always thought, yes, we're making websites for people, but we're relying on Google to find you. So we almost have to design our website making it easy for Google to find us or the Google bots to find us. So even though maybe it shouldn't, you're almost thinking, how do I get at the top of Google rather than how do I best serve the customer? Now we need to be thinking more about the customer because how does the customer talk? How does the customer ask the question? The AI knows that. And I know we're probably going through a bit of a change at the moment in terms of how do we ask AI a question? Are we still using it like Google? And I suppose in the early stages we will do because we're so used to it. But then once we ask conversations, like, I mean, I've mentioned to you before, when I go to, or maybe I've not mentioned to you before, but I often talk in my training sessions when I'm talking to ChatGPT, I just click it on voice mode and have like a 5 minute conversation. Where on Google, I'd never have done that. I would have just probably Googled something and just kind of Googled a number of things to come to my conclusion. Where here, what the AI is doing is seeing how I'm speaking, the way I'm asking, and how I want the answer. So, what we're saying is if you keep the content simple and make it easy to interpret and make it easy for humans, because that's what AI is trying to do. So, it's something to keep in mind. And ChatGPT includes you as a recommended source. So this is what we're talking about. Like I mentioned at the top of it, being on being on basically you're recommended. You know what you're talking about. So when ChatGPT uses you as a source, that's, I mean, for the want of a better word, that's pretty damn impressive, isn't it? That means that you know what you're talking about, your content is good, it's easily explained to customers, I mean, to the person on the AI asking, so it's doing a good job. So that's what we're looking for. So generative engine optimization is what we've just discussed. So we can see the AEO and GEO. This is what you need to be adding to your website. So basically, we need to be found for these. So what do we do?